Sylvia Lim.
Chairman, while SCDF ambulances attend to about 90% of emergency cases, consumers will call for private ambulances in emergency cases if they wish to send a patient to a preferred or private hospital and in non-emergency cases. For the consumer, however, the current lack of regulation has meant that there is patchy information on available services and vastly different consumer experiences. On the one hand, I have personally had good experiences with private ambulances. On the other hand, I hear less happy accounts from residents. Such feedback includes high charges and a lack of advanced disclosure or transparency about the cost of various services and equipment. Others include asking the family to decide if certain equipment should be used en route, which laypersons have little knowledge on. Another concern is that private ambulances attending cases at HDB flats may not have the stretchers that can be maneuvered into an inclined position to fit the size of HDB lifts. The quality of the vehicles is also disparate, with some ambulances apparently retrofitted from cargo vans. Some businesses insist on taking cash payments only, which can be stressful if the charges come up to about $1,000 to be paid by the family in the middle of the night. It was recently reported that regulation is coming in the form of the proposed Healthcare Services Bill. While this is welcomed by consumers as well as industry players, there are some concerns. One concern is the proposed distinction in licensing requirements between those operating emergency ambulance services and those operating medical transport services. The current proposal is that those licensed to provide emergency ambulance services will have more stringent requirements. For example, they will need to employ a clinical director to maintain standards of comprehensive emergency care, to conduct audits, do training and protocol development. In contrast, businesses who provide medical transport services in non-emergency cases do not need to meet the same standards, but will have operational restrictions. For example, they will not be allowed to have blinkers and sirens. Operators have pointed out that patients who are initially stable cases can deteriorate suddenly en route to the hospital, which will turn a non-emergency situation to an emergency one. When this happens, time is of the essence, and blinkers and sirens may make all the difference. What is the status of MOH's review of the regulation regime? Finally, to better facilitate consumer choice, could the government arrange for a one-stop portal for consumers where they can evaluate the offerings and consumer feedback of private ambulance services? As for the reasonableness of the charges, will the government consider publishing fee benchmarks so as to keep this essential service affordable?